First of all, thanks a lot. I think the second thing is I'm sitting here and I'm watching, looking at other people that are in the room. It's been a great show for us so far at Webeyez, just meeting everyone and also sharing what we're doing. I'm going to talk to you today about some of the roadblocks that are happening within the user journey. Real quick about me, I'm a co-founder of a company called Webeyez. What we're doing is that we're working with clients to understand real data for where they're having struggles and friction points within their online funnel. And then we go through that data, we detail it, and work with them through it. But let's jump in. Sec. There we go. Okay. So let's just take a look at, make sure that we're all on the same page. We have a standard user journey that's coming onto the website, right? A visitor is coming, they're landing on a landing page, a home page, could be the product page, and then they're navigating through. They're going to end up hopefully taking the product, putting it in the cart, moving from the cart over to the checkout, and then going ahead to a thank you page, and they're done. What most businesses do is they look at the beginning of that journey and they say, this is the point that I need to definitely focus on. It's interesting that Brent's talked about, he said, what is the one page that's the most important in the cycle? And what was his answer was interesting. There was 5 pages that came up. They were in order, but still, what we've seen is that most people forget about what's really happening in the middle. And they put so much focus on what's happening at the top, and what they're missing is really following that user journey and seeing, once I've taken that customer, and we talk about ROAS, I've taken that customer, I've driven that customer to the website, I've got the right person, they're qualified, they're looking at the product. Every element that's causing friction from that point on is nuts, right? Because that means that you're just taking that opportunity and throwing it away. Not good. So when we have friction points within the funnel, does it affect the actual user experience? Absolutely. Again, what we're going to be looking at is data from users, actual users, but there's no doubt. Anytime that you're having friction within the funnel, any point that you might go onto the website or somebody, one of your staff comes in and they're like, I'm opening up a page and it's opening up slow, that stuff really makes a difference. And imagine what's happening without in the market. And I think the biggest thing for me is, again, I'll take it back to like return on ad spend, is the impact that you're going to have to loyalty, right? Because your website is there, you're going to pay to get those customers in the first time, but the best customer experience that you can deliver is somebody that leaves your website and promotes your website and comes back to it on their own. They might have gotten the product, they might come back and they might take 2 or 3 times before they're going to make a purchase, but that loyalty is the #1 factor that we want to go after. All right, let's jump into what we're here to talk about. We're going to look at the data, the raw data. We look at only real user data. We're going to look at, from the data that I'm looking at here, we pulled in about 1 billion sessions that we're looking at, real user sessions. And we're going to break these sessions down and we're going to look at what are the roadblocks, what are those friction points from both a business and a technical point. We're also going to look a lot of times about lost revenue. I just want to make it very clear, kind of set the stage. How do we calculate lost revenue? Very clear, okay? So I'm just going to start over here. It's up here. What we do is that we take the element of success. In other words, if I'm on add to cart, I can see how many customers came to add to cart, the 63,000, and ended up making a purchase, all right? And I can see what is the conversion rate for that group. Now, if I see that I had one element of friction in the process, and friction could be anything, business and tech. It could be page load time. It could also be a product that's out of stock, all right? It could also be a coupon failure. Then we look at that, and we can see that second line, the 18,000, they converted a rate out of 11%. Super interesting. It doesn't mean that if you have a technical error or an out-of-stock issue on your websites, it's absolute loss. People still continue to buy because they really want that product. As far as hitting loyalty, you've lost it, right? You had a bad experience, but people will still buy because they want the product. What we do is that we look at the delta, the 21 minus 11, and we multiply that times the AOV times the number of failures. And that's how we come up with the lost revenue. So just to let you know, this is the calculations that we're going to be using. And then what we want to do is we want to take it a step further, the second group, and we want to break it down. We want to say, well, there's no kind of BS here. There's nothing in the air. What are the real reasons why people are failing? in that state. So in other words, I'm losing from 21% down to 11% is like 40% about, right? So 40% of the people that are reaching these errors, they're abandoning the process. Okay, I can't guarantee that they were going to buy anyway, but I can definitely say that if you had a brick and mortar store, you wouldn't be having a product that somebody's asking for that's out of stock or that tried to use a coupon, and you wouldn't give them that same reaction that we're giving them on the website. We wouldn't just say, get out of here, you know, walk out the front door. All right, let's jump in. Every minute counts. I think everybody knows this. We've been talking about this a lot already today. Every time that you have friction point, it impacts sales on the website. All right, we are going to look at a couple things today, but I'm going to focus on the health and beauty industry. This is real data. Health and beauty industry, for a website that has an AOV of $100, and they have about 1 million sessions per month coming on the website. Average lost monthly revenue is $326,000. Okay, and let's start to break it down. This is going to be broken down into 2 different issues, into, again, business and tech. And let's talk about, first of all, the business. All right? First off, I'm going to go into login and registration. I think when we talk to customers and we're like, hey, there's an issue maybe with your login, generally the customer replies to us and is like, login issues, it's not a big deal. And we're like, you know, it is a big deal. Like, this is definitely a friction point. And then when we look at login at the point for checkout and you have errors, obviously that is just the most insane experience that you can provide to your customer. There's solutions that are out there, okay? Solutions are definitely make sure that your website has a social login, a one-time password policy that you can do, okay? Another one is you can have like a magic link. Another one, somebody clicks on that, and that gives them more information to make sure they can log in. People do not remember their password. I mean, that's pretty clear. Don't create that friction point for your customers. Make sure that you're moving beyond that and providing them with the best experience possible. And just the last one is something that we see all the time, the messaging when you have a lost password, make sure that's very clear. In other words, if somebody needs to have 7 digits when they're figuring out their password or 7 digits and 1 capital and 1 letter, make sure that that message is very clear to somebody so that they're not trying to figure it out 2, 3 times. Obviously, if somebody's trying to log into the website 3 times, they're going to take a hike. They're going to be out. Next, place order. Okay, place order failures are happening. This is a critical point within our online funnel. This is the point that the intent for the customer is absolutely high. They're ready to move forward, and they're trying to put their credit card through. What are some solutions when we have place order failures? One is make sure that you have alternate payment methods available on your payment page. It's a very simple thing to do. That means that you should have, if you're going to do credit card, make sure that you also have PayPal, Apple Pay. Make sure that if you don't have that on that exact payment page, maybe there's a link that takes them over to another page with more payment options. But don't leave it to that one, because sometimes people put in their credit card and legitimately they might make a mistake with the number, with the expiration. Maybe there is a credit problem. All I know is I want that customer to be able to convert. That's the most important thing. We also are still big fans of triggering chat, engage with the customer. Don't let that person that, again, think about the brick and mortar store. If they were standing at the counter with $500 in their basket and they're trying to use their credit card, it's not as if the cashier is not going to say anything to the manager. How can we help this person? Do we want to move it to the side, etc.? Next, lost revenue from discounts. This for me is like a personal pain point. Again, the customer has come to the website, they found the product, their intent level is absolutely high, okay? No doubt about it. And what are we doing, again, is that when somebody puts in a coupon code that's invalid, we're just simply saying, invalid coupon code, get out. And a lot of times, these coupon codes that people are using, they're legit. They found it on a blog, and what we see is we see within the website, the business, that coupon code might be expired. So it's not anyone's fault. It's definitely not the customer's fault. The customer wants to buy. They'll try that coupon code again, and it won't work. So are there solutions? Where do we just turn our head and say, that's it? There are absolutely solutions. Number one is the messaging. Do not just say coupon code invalid. Worst, right? You have somebody that wants to buy. Hi, I'm sorry, it looks like that coupon code's not working. Here's a couple solutions that you can do. Always go through and validate your coupon code validation dates. Make sure that things are up to date. Keep an active run, an active record of what are the coupon codes that people are submitting that are invalid. Every time we go through this with a customer, we have the same thing every time. Oh my gosh, that coupon code's valid, or we just did a big campaign with that coupon code. Well, you guys put out a coupon code that's expired already. And the last, what we're seeing more and more of is that if you offer what we call like a manager's discount or a store discount, people are putting in a coupon code for 10% off. So if I add in another option and I say, hey, here's a manager's coupon for free shipping, or here's a manager's coupon for 5%, the main thing that I want is I want that customer to go ahead and make the conversion. I will take the drop, it's okay. I don't want that customer to get all the way to the point. They're not going to come back. They're not going to go find a valid coupon and come back and get the product. They're going to go to another store that they can find it, and they'll start shopping around. All right? Other things that we pick out is we also see a lot of data coming in from the checkout page issues, also from the shopping cart issues, and also the search. The search, also on a personal level, make sure that you're always looking at what are the search words that people look for that came back empty. All right, make sure that your search engine is up to date. Make sure that you're running synonyms, capital letters, spaces, etc. That's really, really easy money left on the table. The customer experience when a search failure happens is awful. Okay? Questions so far? Yeah. It's so bright, I can't see anything. What? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You do it. I mean, generally what I would recommend is to do, they can only submit one coupon. So I'm happy to have them take this coupon instead of that coupon. I just don't want them to leave. Yeah, the best situation is that if you can program that when the failure happens, they have an option come up. But I've also seen a website where they'll just have it sitting there, a link, that they can press on the link and they get the coupon code. Only one code can be submitted, and it'll say, maybe they're coming in with 10% off, and this one says 7% off for free shipping. But they're ready to buy, so I want to give them something that's going to get them over the hump. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the technical side of things. By the way, every e-commerce site that we work with across the board, the big money is lost on the business side. The technology is generally pretty good. If something happens, there's a spike, you get an alert, tech team deals with it, there's a JavaScript error, there's major page load problems. The major money is lost every time on the business side, the way that you're engaging with the customer. All right, so let's look at the tech. All right, I'm going to start off with JavaScript errors. JavaScript errors are happening on every website. If you're not aware of where they're happening or what they're happening, there's plenty of tools out there that'll show you. Not all JavaScript errors are causing crazy damage to the user experience. A lot of them are fine. And let's talk about what you can do to get rid of the JavaScript errors. Number one is make sure that you're using a tool that's able to focus on the hot areas of the website. Those are the areas that you want the tech team to focus on first with the JS errors. All right? If you have a page that's not getting a lot of traffic and they have a lot of JavaScript errors, who cares? It's not top priority. Top priority always is based around where you're losing the most money. You have the funnel. That funnel is leaking revenue all the time. I need to plug those holes up, and I'm going to plug up the biggest one first. Next is I'll go into a little bit with our thoughts on page load time. Okay. Also, page load time is still a major factor on the internet and with websites today. It's it never goes away. All right? But I'm not going to look at page load time issues and say, well, that's it. I'm going to stick with my 2.7%. That's my conversion rate. And I think that we have a page load issue, but, whatever. Absolutely not. You're going to create a fantastic online experience, right? So what does that mean? That means that the tech team can go ahead and make sure that you're caching the website all the time. All right? There's different ways that you can put up images that are on the website. There's fantastic tools that are here at the show that'll let you go ahead and create an image size that's much later, that's not going to create that weight on that page load time. And I have there at the bottom the optimize, optimize, optimize. Everything that I'm showing you now without a doubt, and I think it's why you guys are here, the website is not an automatic pop and go. It's an ongoing process of care. Optimize the website all the time. Look at what are the things that are causing you damage and deal with them. But I always think just try to prioritize, because you're not going to fix everything. And the other thing is just like, I feel like also when I'm talking to a merchant, that merchant has so many things on their head. It's like the website is one aspect for what they're dealing with. They're dealing with staff issues, product issues, shipping issues. So just make sure you prioritize. Failed calls. Failed calls are dealing with third-party tools. A major issue, more I think for us, what we see a major issue within a Shopify website compared to a Magento website, but still, third-party tools are awful. Monitor all the third-party errors that are happening on the website. Where is a call gone out to a payment gateway that's not come back? Where is a call gone out to pull up information about a product and not come back? And definitely we see it all the time happening with shipping, that when you're using the person's checking out and they need to choose between FedEx or UPS, failed calls happening all the time, and then that's the point that the customer is going to stop their process. Okay? I'm going to go into the next kind of chunk and finish it up. But any questions on the tech? Okay. Feel free. Okay. Track, qualify, alert, and resolve. Main thing is that you're staying awake and you're watching what's happening. There's so many fantastic tools out there that provide alerts. Use these tools. Find out what's really happening on your website. They're automated. Some of them are free. Some of them are not. But make sure that you're understanding what's happening. Quantify what you're doing, because you don't want to have your tech team or your team spend time investing to stop one issue when the major issue, the big hole that you're losing revenue, is over here, and they're spending all their effort over there. So make sure that you're all the time looking at what are the biggest issues, quantify those issues based on the number of customers, and also revenue is the big thing. Set up your alerts, and then go ahead and get the details to resolve it. I mentioned before, as far as site friction is the enemy. I want to be able to identify any point where there's going to be site friction that's in the website and understand how that's actually affecting the online experience. So I want to pinpoint the cause. I want to get the details for that information, and then I want to go ahead and solve them, but based on prioritization, for sure. To break it down real quick, track the data that's coming in, understand what's happening on your website, stay ahead of the curve. You don't want to be the one that's getting those tickets that are coming in from a customer saying, I'm trying to put this product in the cart and it's not working. There you've already failed, because there's been another 150 that had that problem and didn't bother to write in a ticket. So make sure that you're tracking this information and that you know when it's happening. Number two, go back to the same thing that I said before, quantify. Quantify how much these issues are costing you. You don't have endless amount of resources and time to deal with issues. Make sure that you're focusing in on the biggest issues first, and then take it back. The alerts also, I mentioned, use an alerting system to understand many kinds of alerting systems for everything from the business side to the technical side, to use that. And then the resolve. Make sure that you're resolving the issues. You're measuring, have you resolved them? Are they ongoing? See where they were in the past compared to where they are today. And I think Google is a great tool for that, just for understanding. I'm happy to take questions, but just to let you know, I've showed you that revenue calculator. If you're interested, there's a revenue calculator on our website. It's pretty handy. It's general. I think we have 4 verticals in there right now. One of them is health and beauty, but it's pretty simple. You just put in the vertical that you want and the amount of traffic, the AOV and the amount of traffic, and it'll give you a good understanding for what are the leading issues that are affecting other businesses in your industry. Yeah, that's it. Questions, thoughts, feedback? Okay. Thank you.